It's one vote, one person, one vote still matters and matters of electing a president. Okay, you say this about outsized political power. Unlike other demographic subgroups, rural whites wield inflated power in U.S. politics. Since the rise of Jacksonian democracy nearly 2 decades ago, rural whites have enjoyed what we call essential minority status because they've been able to extract concessions from state governments and especially the national government that no other group their size possibly could. In a country that is roughly 20% rural, with about 1/4 of that 20% being non-white, rural whites now constitute about 15% of the total US population. Rural whites exert power beyond their numbers and surely can improve their communities were they to use this power judiciously. Okay, can you explain how they came to have so much power, how they use it, and how it goes beyond the Electoral College?
I mean, some of it's not their fault, right? The Constitution creates the Electoral College. The Constitution creates the Senate. So Wyoming, which is a state with 584,000 people at the last census, it's smaller than 120 different counties in the United States, including 4 counties in Maryland where I live. Each are bigger than Wyoming. It has the minimum 1 House member and the guaranteed 2 senators, and therefore 3 electoral votes. California, with 39 million people, home to LA County, the largest county in the country, a county that by itself is larger than any of the 40 smallest states. If LA was excised from California, it would be the 11th largest state tomorrow. California has 52 House members and 2 senators, so 54 electoral votes, and 54 divided by 3 is 18-1. So California casts 18 times the voting power in the Electoral College, even though it has 69 times the people. That's because small states get the guaranteed senators and the guaranteed 1 House members, and those smaller states just happen to be whiter and more rural than the rest of the country, and they always have been. Now, there are some small white rural states like Maine and Vermont and New Hampshire, but you have the Dakotas and the Wyomings and the Montanas and the Idahos and the Alaskas far outnumbered. There's about 120 electoral votes cast by small states, and it's about 40 in Republican-leaning states, give or take how you categorize them, 80 in the Republican-leaning states and 40 in the Democratic-leaning states. And so they start off with about a 40 electoral vote advantage. And if you don't think that electoral vote advantage matters, just ask President Hillary Clinton or President Al Gore, who won the popular vote and lost the Electoral College because they got more votes, but they didn't win enough of the small states to get an Electoral College majority.
It's okay. This whole thing is like antithetical to our entire system. And this is such a dumb analogy, but I equate it to baseball. I don't know if you're a baseball fan, but the entire baseball season is broken into series. And then the playoff are series. And then the World Series is, you're never going to guess this, a series. A couple years ago, they instituted this thing, a 1-game playoff to get into the thing between the 2 wildcard games.
Yep.
They only did it to spike to television ratings. It had nothing to do with the way baseball ever was constituted or how it should be constituted. This idea of the Electoral College goes against everything else, right, that we have in the system. Nothing else is like this. Why not just go to a popular vote?
Well, we should go to a popular vote. We never will because it'll be impossible to amend the Constitution. Now, there is a movement called the National Popular Vote Plan, created by a math professor named John Koza, and 15 states have ratified what's called a compact that will trigger if enough states that have 270 or more electoral votes combine, they would agree to cast their electoral votes for the national popular vote winner instead of their state winner, thereby guaranteeing the national popular vote winner a minimum of 270 no matter what. Of course, all the states that have ratified it, starting with my state where I teach, Maryland, the first state to ratify it. Minnesota recently ratified it. I think it's up to 19 states and about 15 states and 190 or 195 electoral votes. So you'd still need to get a handful of other states with another 60 or 70 electoral votes to get it across the top. And then, of course, it would be challenged in the court system, and it might not pass constitutional muster with the Supreme Court. But there is a movement to keep the Electoral College as it is, but make the states vote for the national popular vote winner instead of their respective state vote winners. But I don't really think that's going to happen in the near future unless Republicans start losing elections by winning the popular vote and losing the electoral vote. But they haven't been doing that. They can't win the popular vote at all. They've lost it 7 of 8 times. And I'll predict right now they're going to lose the popular vote next month for 8 out of 9 times. But they still may get Trump back in an office despite that.